Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Matchbook Horse Racing Podcast. We're back. We're previewing another monster weekend of jumps racing. I don't know what's going on at the moment, but it just keeps on coming, and it's fantastic. I'm very much here for it. Last week was excellent with the festival over in Ireland and the Betfair Chase, and this weekend we've got really good racing with the Fighting Fifth. We've got the Coral Gold Cup and plenty more besides as well. Just the 6 to get through, though. That's all is on ITV. But that's what we are getting stuck into. And I'm joined by Micheál, Deasy and Charlie Poste to take you through it all. I'm sure you're both well. Hope you are. Like, follow, subscribe wherever you're listening or watching. Best no-cost way of supporting our content across all platforms. Use the bonus code POD50 if you want 50 quid in free bets. T's and C's are on the website. Oh, we were 2 out of 3 in the best bet treble last week. £5 treble you can place on our 3 best bets. And if it cops, then you win a decent amount of money. If it doesn't, then you get your money back. I mean, it didn't cop last week, but you got your money back. But it was close. I don't know who let us down. I think mine went in. Were you on, Dees?
I was on Woodhoo.
No. You...
Oh,
Woodhoo won.
Blair White lost.
So yeah, he's gone.
And that's why he's not back this. That's why he's not.
He'll be back for the Silly Isles.
Yeah. ABW stands for a bloody waste. Because that's what he's meant for last week. Thanks a lot. Good afternoon, guys from Galway. Says, is that Cy Tyson? Appreciate the streams and upcoming tips. Really close to the treble. Fingers crossed for this week. He says, yeah, fingers crossed. Hi, Dale. He's going to be heading to the Fighting Fifth. Tell you what, that's just a monster race. We might as well get stuck into it. Now, you've changed, DC. But that's not a generalised statement since you left Matchbook. But you changed your selection. Right. You had put Constitution here.
I did.
What's happened?
I want him to win, right? But how could you put actual money on him after the spring he had at that price? It's just too short. Out of them all, I want him to win. I want him to get back. I love that.
Do you think he will win? So I appreciate, and I'm the same. Like I'm not going to have a bet in the race because I think he confuses it so much. My gut feeling is he'll win. I think he will win.
Yeah, I do.
I don't want to put my cold hard. No, it's not. I don't want hard. But
if he's right and he jumps properly, he'll win.
So why don't you want to back him for a champion hurdle at 6.5?
I have backed him for a champion hurdle. I backed him at 9.0.
All right.
So if Matt Toombs ran that fairly early on, now I have to give him a hat tip to that now. He's in the old €2 million lucky 31.
Fine. So we're singing from a similar hymn sheet. Yeah, I think he'll go and win, but I think it's a risky prospect at this sort of price. And the new line for me. Yeah, he was very good last year, and the final demand form looks really strong. But this is 2 miles against possibly the best 2 mile hurdler we've seen, and against one other very good one from Ireland on what we have seen so far. Looks very good, and I don't want to back him, so I'm sitting it out. But Charlie, you are.
There's another champion hurdle winner in there as well.
There's a champion hurdle winner in there as well in the form of Golden Ace.
They got beat in a match race last time out.
Yeah, it's one race. You were lying.
Viper says, agree with you, DC. You can't have confidence in him. It's risky. Trevor says, if the pace is slow, it'll be a farce of a race. I don't think it will be that slow because Constitution Hill will just go forward.
Yeah.
And I think that's to his benefit. Like at Christmas. I think that's ideally.
Yeah.
CJ77770 says, Tom Stanley bring Rain Man back. Great days. They were some good days. How I started off with Rain Man Racing, tipping. For some reason, I tipped loads of winners in those days because I think I was just so boring. All I used to do was sit at home and study form.
No children in the 8 hours asleep, Pam.
No
difference, boy.
And the great, when you're sat at home on your own, you can just focus on certain types of races rather than having to spread the net far and wide. Anyway, Charlie Post, you've actually got a bet in the race.
Yeah, I put Anzadam up. As in, I'd like. Again, like there's part of me, the sentimental part of me, wants to see Constitution Hill win, and look, he's with the right person, as in, Sprinter Sacre and all those that he's brought back from when they've looked on the abyss of, going out into obscurity. But the price he is after 2 falls and a bad run at Punchestown, I just don't really see it. The new line, I know how strong the yard are on him and for the Champion Hurdle, but like the 2.5 mile novice at the Cheltenham Festival has been appointed to Champion Hurdles before, Isterbrak, Faheen and others. But at the same time, he beat Staying Chasers in that race. And this is, as you've said, Tom, a big step up. Anzadam, look, with the form-beaten Beacon Edge and Carla Conti in a canter, again, doesn't make him a Champion Hurdler by any stretch of the imagination. But he does bring an immense amount of untapped potential. And at the prices, he was 4.5 a bit earlier on. I do think he's a bet. He wouldn't be one of my big selections, but because of the other two, it makes him a price that I think is attractive.
I think it's fascinating and brilliant that Willie Mullins, off the back of his lack of preparation with Anzadam, and what's how his career has been curtailed so far, but he's willing to throw him in. I think it's phenomenal. Brilliant that he ran 2 of his 2.5 milers against each other last weekend as well. I think it's mighty stuff. So great. Makes it very, very interesting. But ultimately, Deasy and I no bet. We think Constitution Hill will win and be sat at the top of the market for the Champion Hurdle. And Charlie is with Anzadam, who I guess you think if he can win this, Charlie, then he's a proper Champion Hurdle horse, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's massively in the mix if he goes and wins this. Yeah, but like I say, first and foremost, I'm looking at it from a point of view of Saturday. There's question marks over Constitution Hill, question marks on the new line up in this company over this trip. So I just think Anzadam looks overpriced to me on Saturday.
Okay, Dale says new line will be a star. Got knocked last year, but shut them all up. He was bloody good at Cheltenham, wasn't he? Yeah. He was very good, and we're going to be fascinating to see. We will learn much on Saturday at 2 o'clock. It's the Fighting Fifth. We're going back to 1:40 at Newbury now. So now we're going to go in race card order, or ITV race card order. We felt we should kick off with the Fighting Fifth. 2.5 mile handicap hurdle. Friendship is the favourite at 3.75, and Charlie and I agree for a yard that have come on leaps and bounds last year. They've picked up pretty well this year. I was impressed with how this horse stayed on and saw it out. I got a little bit messy and behind at one point, and I'll come to that later. But ultimately, I think Charlie, I thought he was idling a little bit late on. I thought he had a good bit left.
Completely agree, mate. As in I thought he won with any amount in hand. It would have been very interesting, the Silver Trophy, when he was still going very well when he departed. He put that right at Cheltenham. I don't think he was doing a stroke when he hit the front. He had the race won way before going to the last. I think an £8 rise underestimates his superiority, and I think underestimates where his ceiling probably lies. As you say, fair play to Philip Hobbs and Johnson White. It's difficult to kind of resurrect yourself when you've been right at the top and then you slip off. But they've invested heavily in young horses. They seem to have some nice ones coming through in the novice hurdle department. And this lad, whether he's going to make up into a graded horse, but he's a pretty talented one off 136. And like I say, I'd be very surprised if he doesn't end up rating a bit higher than this. And yeah, 3.75. I thought he was very interesting again.
DC, who are you with?
Right, I must just give a caveat about my Newbury tips, because I put up a few big price ones and I've done them all based on the ground being really soft, if not soft to heavy, and if not heavy. Because if you look at the weather forecast, there is 15 mils of rain going to fall on the track between Friday night and the start of racing. So it could be really, really soft ground. So the ones I've all put up are soft ground horses. So if it doesn't lash rain on top of Newbury, back whatever Charlie and Tom are tipping. My horse is Royal Rambler for Emma Lavelle, is in there at 19.0. Had a good look through them see with Friendship and the ones at the top of the market. But this horse is definitely a soft ground horse, and it was in my notebook because it was actually backed from 13.0 into 8.0 at the Cheltenham meeting in the race won by Lavender Hill Mob. So they had a right bet off it that day. It started off last December on heavy ground at Leicester, was beaten. Had only an all right maiden hurdle campaign, but this is only its second run in the handicap. Again, they obviously think there's something to it. And I should say that in her fight, in her third maiden or his third maiden hurdle, when they could have, brought him home nicely and got the mark, he actually won going away on soft ground at Chepstow in February. So going to need a good bit of dig in the ground. Is available at 19.0. You're going to be getting, there's 15 in this race. You're going to be getting 4. You might even get 5 places on the exchange for this horse. I'd say if the rain comes, they'll probably back it. Emma Lavelle isn't in actually that bad form. She's had a lot of horses. She's had 5 horses finish second now in the last week, and none of them have been beaten far. They've been 2 lengths, 1 quarter length. So she's hitting the bar. She hasn't had a winner a long time, and Ma Chantou disappointed last week, but I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt. I think this horse is too big, and if the ground turns up heavy, he'd definitely go off short on 19.0 and could hit the frame at the very least.
I was just going to check if she's had a winner today, because I thought I'd seen that she had. I might be talking utter toss, but yeah, I had in my mind she was a little bit out of form. Oh, she had a winner at Exeter, didn't she? But otherwise, otherwise she's quiet. But yeah, I take the point about the seconds. Who are you with in the 2:15, the Jerry Fielden? You agree, you two? I'll come to you, Charlie, first of all. Ollie Murphy's in Diva Blue.
Yeah, Indivar Blue. I mean, he was always a very highly regarded horse. I think it's been frustrating with him, little niggles along the way. But, he kicked off in a handicap hurdle in Fosslas in April of this year and won readily. And the horse that he beat of Nigel Twiston Davis's Stream of Stars went in, I think, next time out off 1-2-2. He only got a £6 rise in Indivar Bleu for that win, which again I think underestimates. If this horse gets a clear run at things and stays physically right, again I think he's a lot better than this marker 1-2-6. Deasy is going to, I'm sure, allude to the fact that he's won on heavy ground at Leicester in December 2000 of last year. So we can tick that box if we get a lot of rain. I mean, 4-year-olds sort of dominate the top of this market, I think, or sort of live Conti if Dan's does, and Give It To Me OJ. I think it's 8 years since a 4-year-old has taken this race out. And if conditions deteriorate, tough for a 4-year-old when ground conditions are like that. Indivar Bleu at the other end of the spectrum is a 7-year-old. Very lightly raced 7-year-old, but should be a tougher, bigger, stronger type and proven with conditions. I thought 6.0 was big.
And what do you want to add, Deasy?
Not much. Charlie has a cover there. Like, he should handle the ground. I just don't like the 4-year-olds giving away a lot of weight in ground. I think that'll be quite soft. And this is actually, we've been over Ali's yard years ago when we were filming with him, and this is a horse. He kind of said, keep an eye out for this fella. This is before he even ran his bumper. So all this kind of had him at the tracker, kept an eye on him, and he just hasn't had a good run of it yet. So hopefully he can get back on track today or tomorrow.
I did think Liv Conti was very interesting, but equally now is a skinny old price. But I can definitely see the horse winning. But Last Rodeo was the one for me, who came out the Friendship race last time, ran way better than the finishing position, because when we lost East India Express, this horse, I mean, Jack Tudor nearly came down. So I don't know. He was handicap debutant on that day. It's a big price, but he actually ran better than being beaten 23 lengths. And I thought he was well worth having another go at, because you can't judge him at all based on that. 15.0. I'll have a little nibble at Last Rodeo, win and place. The Coral Gold Cup, then I will let you go first. Deasy this time, couple for you. Charlie's got 2 as well, but Deasy, away you go.
Yeah, so I've backed Victorino for this anti-post based on the fact that he went off 6.0 for this last year, was absolutely smashed in. Venetia, I think she had a treble. She trebled that there, was it the weekend? Not to the treble she had the weekend before the Bedford Chase that she was absolutely flying. But I think the ground might be gone against him. I think he's going to be, if it turns up heavy, it's not for him. And I have gone for 2 horses that are going to love it. First one, big price, Intense Raffles, 41.0. Irish national winner, stay all day. Now he is carrying a big weight, but heavy ground, marathon trips should be absolutely perfect for him. I could see him just pinging around here, up near the front. He's 41.0. I can't see him going off that price. I could see him going off shorter. There would have been other races in Ireland that they could have gone for with him. And here he is coming into this up the top of the weights with Monty Star. I think he's just been missed by the market. He was a really good horse, and this is the kind of race that's going to suit him, especially if the ground gets very, very sticky. And the other one then, sharp price one, Katata Dory for Sam Thomas. Again, look, obvious enough, really good, soft, heavy ground farm. He actually won in Chepstow in heavy ground, so it can't be heavy enough for him. Sam Thomas is absolutely flying it. And again, he's in there about 12.0, so he'd be a nice win place bet. But I'd nearly be stronger on Intense Raffles than him if I had to put up one of them.
Charlie, a couple for you.
You're muted.
Come again, Charlie. Coming again.
I've done the Steve Jones and muted myself. Apologies. Resplendent Grey at the top of the market. I couldn't not put him up as in, he was enigmatic last year. Always used to seem to hit flat spots and then stayed on very well. He did that behind Haiti Kalor in the National Chase at the festival, and then got it together and won the Bet365. Had a break, came back, and I thought over 2.5 around Carlisle when he beat Handstands, he looked a different character. He travelled, jumped, went through his race professionally and properly, and readily beat what's a good horse who ran okay in the Betfair Chase the other day. He's been put up 6 for that, but I don't think that's a problem. The cheap pieces that were left off at Carlisle go back on, and he just looks an obvious one that he's on the upgrade. He's got big field experience. Thought it was difficult to see him not being there or thereabouts, and he is the profile for this sort of race, and a highly progressive second season chaser. The other one I chalked up at a bigger price was O'More Park of Willie Mullins's. Will definitely go on the ground. Won a heavy ground maiden hurdle. Again, he's got big field experience. Ran very well in the novice handicap chase at Cheltenham, and then went back there in April in the Grade 2 handicap, the Grade 2 limited handicap chase. I think this trip, for all that he didn't run that well, he was 11th in the Bet365 behind Resplendent Grey. I do think he'll stretch out this far anyway. And his comeback run when he was second, it looked like a sighter that he's going to improve upon over 2.6. Back up to this 3.25 mile trip. I thought he was a big price. I'll be backing him winning place.
I'm with the changing man. CJ, having been nice about me previously, has now said, "Have I watched the changing man completely dog it last time out plenty of times last season?" So when I looked at the race on Tuesday actually, and I thought I was going to end up backing Resplendent Grey and Micheál. Micheál has since shortened up, quite a bit at the top of the market. I think Lucinda Russell came out on Nick Luck Daily podcast and said he's probably the best I've ever trained. I can see it, and I still really like Resplendent Grey for the race. I do think he's the ideal sort of profile for the race. I can see him going very well. I think he should be favourite, to be honest. But then I looked at Micheál and looked at the changing man, like being walloped by Micheál last time, but. On that performance, I think with Micheál being the price he is, I think you want to have the changing man on side. It was a race with Micheál last time where it's a standing start and he's a front runner, and then the other horse that was up with him initially came down at the first and hampered a few in behind. So I'm not saying he was brilliant, and he got it easier though than he might have done. For all he was still brilliant. Freezing. And the other point is that he got. There were a few in behind who got hampered, and I think it all went very well. And the changing man has got cheap pieces on, and he's I think something like £12 better off with him. So I just thought on the prices compared to their form together, he was worth having on side and having met. And the other point being, Martin is here. He's not having had a run. So with cheap pieces on the Changing Man, I thought it can be a very difficult race to win fresh. I remember when Smad Place won with the Alan King, he said, we finally learned that you need to have a run before coming into this. I know it's a slightly different race now. It's probably not as strong as it used to be. But just on form with Martin and on prices and weight change, I thought you have to have the Changing Man on side. Equally, I can definitely see something being better than him, more solid than him. But with the cheap pieces on, I think he's worth a go. And if it doesn't work this time, fair play.
Do you think it's a better renewal than it has been, though, in recent years? Like,
you're right.
Big field, the two at the top of the market are really progressive horses. I mean, Micheál could take this apart.
He could do. It completely could. I just watched that, looking back at Cheltenham last time, standing start, you could put a line through 6 of them at the start because they didn't start on level terms with them. And then the horse came down at the first that was upside to Micheál and hampered 3 or 4 in behind. So all of a sudden it was looking pretty rosy for him. I agree he could take it apart. But
I agree with you also. Like, if he's gassy and all that, he's not a foot perfect jumper either. This is going to be it's going to be fast and furious. And like you say, he's unlikely to get the luxury that he did at Cheltenham. I'd almost want to see him jump 3 or 4 and get into a rhythm first of all myself. But I think he's always with a lot of talent.
Yeah, I'm not against him at all. It's just I thought there was 2. I thought, on account of him, I'm going with the Changing Man to turn around like a 13-length walloping or whatever. And then, there we go. Right. Rehearsal Chase. I couldn't make head nor tail of it. Sorry. So I'm a no bet in this, even though there's 8 in it. DC, you've got one at a decent price.
Yeah, I've gone for Hold That Thought for Venetia Williams. I just thought he was completely overpriced. She targets this race. She's won it the last 2 years, and she's won it 3 times the last 10 years and the last 2 years. This is the race last year, Tom, where I put up Frere Bamboo, and you were like, there's not a hope he could win over 3 miles, and then he absolutely pissed up. Just reminding you of that.
Stick of a horse.
Absolutely.
Horse. And there I was being to run over 2 miles at the fair. Anyway.
Yeah. And again, I'm sure she had it. This was the time last year where Venetia was just winning every single big race on Saturday. I think you'll remember that. But this is Hold That Thought. Only ran twice last season. He's a 10-year-old. He actually hasn't run that much.
I have to jump in here because someone's come to fix my washing machine, and I'm the only person here, and I have to go and open the door. That's what I have to do. So, what you're going to do, Dees? I know, and I'm being paid for this.
We'll just carry on.
You've got to make your case, Dees, and then take us on to the 3:35 at Newbury. Away you go.
I'll ask Charlie for his horse as well. What I thought, yeah. Look, he's a good bit down from his last winning mark. Like this time in 2023, he won a big race. He won a good race, a handicap chase at Ascot, and then followed up at Bangor-on-Dee. Didn't do much last season. No, his first race was towards the end of the year. But he's had a pipe opener. He was out at Bangor-on-Dee there a couple of weeks ago, finished 4th. Really looked like he needed a race. Again, look, he's 15.0 here. I think that's just a very big price in a fairly wide open race, even though, look, we could be missing the very obvious one of Dan Skelton's one at the top, running off a low weight, and he's plenty of good form, but I just thought Hold That Thought was completely overpriced at 15.0. Charlie, who do you like in this race?
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with you about Dan's horse, and I'd say he was probably chuffed when Hang In There stayed in the race, and he's got enough a lightweight. But I just thought like 2.87 or something like that he is with where he. I just thought it's very, very short. But like like you said, it from that yard, it'd be no surprise. I came down with Jasmine Negrugi of Anthony Honeyballs, who's had a fantastic start to the season. Won a couple of big handicap chases already. Horses seem to be better than ever. Who again gets in off a very lightweight. He's 2 from 4 since he went chasing. Was very progressive last year, and rounded off his campaign with a second to Bill Baxter at Punchestown for all that he was a well beat second. I would have been slightly nervous if there was a big field. I just think a lot of the time in these big staying handicap chases, you want to be on the front end, and Jasmine de Grugy is slotted in. However, there's only 8 runners, which makes it less of a task to get into the race. And he's probably at a price, I think he was 9.0, where you can back him win and place, which I probably will do, because that would be the only factor in my mind. I'd just be a little bit nervous. It might end up being dominated by horses in and around the pace.
Yeah,
we're all good. He's in. It's all right. We're back. We're good.
I was just going to mention that even if 1 or 2 come out of this, you'll probably still get the 3 places on the matchbook exchange.
Very good. Very professional, Deasy. Very good.
Company man. I love it.
He's very good. Yeah. Trevor says, can you send him round to my machines up the spout as well? I'm sorry to hear that, Trevor. I don't know if your 5-year-old also put about 400 stones in his pockets and then I put them in the wash, but that might have something to do with it. There you go.
I'll do that.
Right, on we roll to the 3:35. Away you go, DC, with the 2.5 furlong handicap chase at Newbury.
Yeah, I like Javert Allen. I like Jane Williams' horse. Just look at his form. He's only finished out of 9 runs. He's only been out of the top 3 twice. Has beaten some good horses. This time last year, he won at Chepstow on soft ground, and then he went to Newbury at this meeting and won, beating Harpersbrook. Sorry, not this meeting. He beat Harpersbrook over this course and distance. I'd say, look, if I'm right about my weather forecast, the ground is going to be really sticky ground, really churned up ground. I think he should handle it all right. I think you also have to take note of Jane Williams when she has 2 mile chases and she's in form. She's 3 wins from her last 10. So I thought that he was a nice bet at around 6.0.
Charlie, who are you with?
Yeah, I can see the Javert Allen case that Deasy has made. I nearly came down on him myself, but rare addition for me, a little bit slightly bigger in the market for Dave Bass and Charlie Longsden. Talented horse, and he's done all right since he went chasing. But he beat Rambo T not much more than a year ago, and started off this campaign being probably facing impossible task as subsequently, where he finished 7th second to Thistle Ask at Kelso. He is a horse that can go well fresh, but there's also been there's been occasions where he has improved a bit for a run. So I'm banking on a little bit of improvement, but also the fact that maybe he won't have to improve that much, and he just faced a task that was never going to be possible against that horse after who subsequently went on and won the Holden Gold Cup. So yeah, rare addition, and he's at a price where you can back and win and place if you want to.
I quite like Etalon here. I thought he might even be rated higher than this when I think he won at Newbury a year and a half or so ago and started off his handicap chase campaign. I think he's obviously can be a bit in and out. Last time he shaped well, I don't think he saw out the extra distance of Fontwell. He's had a run. They'll have targeted this race. Obviously, it's a Skelton horse, but they would have done given his course form here and what they're bringing there on the day. And I thought at 7.5, he had a pretty good chance. Etalon. Any other bets? I'll kick off at the 12:30 at Newbury. Brave Kingdom, another course winner. He's rated £2 below that success. And look, he's a horse that's definitely had his problems. He goes fresh, and I thought this was just the time to try and catch him. He's obviously got some question marks to answer, but it's 10.0, and he does like the track. DC.
Hunter Legend for Venetia again in the 12:30. Again, he was well backed for the Paddy Power Gold Cup at Cheltenham there a couple of weeks ago. He's a quick turnaround. This is 2 weeks. That was only 2 weeks ago. He's in here at, let's see, 6.0. I think he's a nice horse. So at that price, I'll be backing him.
Charlie, where are you looking?
Dom of Mary in the 125 at Newcastle. Second run for James Owen, previously trained by David Bridgewater. Loves marathon trips. Started off for the yard over, just under 2.7 at Kelso, where he finished 11 lengths behind Cadell. Steps right back up to 3 miles 6 today. James Owen's flying, but this is definitely the sort of horse that always improves for his first run as well. I'd be very surprised if he isn't bang there this time round. So yeah, Dom of Mary in the 125 at Newcastle.
Matchbook Zero long shot time. Reminder, this goes live an hour before each race. You're most likely to get best odds. There's zero margin. There's zero commission for win bets only. Last rodeo, my biggest price, 15.0 in the 215 at Newbury. Same price for you, Dees. Oh, no, it's not. You're the two. No, you're not. You're the 255. Sorry.
I'm in 10 raffles in the Carl Gold Cup, 41.0.
Same race for you, Charlie?
Yeah, O'More Park in the Coral Gold Cup, yeah.
And best bet treble coming up now. So you stick a fiver on this with Matchbook, new and existing customers. It as the treble. If it cops you, you're going to win well. If it doesn't, so be it. You will win well as well with these three. Blimey. Right, changing man for me in the Coral Gold Cup. Deasy.
Dory in the Coral Gold Cup. It's the wrong race time in there.
Hang on, yeah. So that's tricky because you put the yes, that's tricky. Sorry. I just because I saw the race time, I'm going to need to change mine, but I'm very happy to because the other one I thought 140. I'll go French ship. So that's Charlie, who's yours?
Jesus Christ, this can't be that tricky, lads. Come on.
Who's yours, Charlie?
140 friendship, as in someone's just put in the comments, feeling confident with this treble. Bloody hell.
Okay. Well, listen, I yeah, right. I will go with. I tell you, I'll go with Constitution Hill. Constitution Hill for a shorter price. There we go. Constitution Hill in the Fighting Fifth. We can change that in the insights.matchbook.com. Good. Well done. I thought that went really well until the washing machine and the end. But first 20 minutes was great. Well done, everyone. Thanks, Charlie. Thanks, Deasy. Thanks for everyone getting involved. Really good stuff. Everyone getting involved. Lots of you have done that. So that's great. Head to insights.matchbook.com for a recap of all the best bets. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.